have reviewed all available information related to the use on the subject property and have determined, in their opinion, that the activities involved in the process of shipbreaking are not an allowable use in the industrial marine zone. Through the CVRD zoning bylaw, for shipbreaking to be permitted on the subject property, the use must fall within a permitted principal or accessory use. It is staff's opinion that shipbreaking does not qualify as either within an industrial marine zone. Additionally, section 102.1 of the CVRD zoning bylaw provides that no land, surface of water, building, or structure in any zone shall be used for any purpose other than those specified for the zone in which it is located. Uses not expressly listed as a principal or accessory use within a zone are prohibited. As well, section 302.1 of the zoning bylaw provides that any use not expressly permitted in this bylaw is prohibited in every zone. To allow shipbreaking on the subject property and in an industrial marine zone, an application for either a temporary use permit or a zoning bylaw amendment would be required. There was a deadline of January 17th, 2022 for the operators and owners of the subject property to respond and confirm with the CVRD the owner's intent in complying with CVRD bylaws by either stopping the shipbreaking use or applying for a land use application. Although CVRD staff have received correspondence from lawyers working with Deepwater Recovery, no official statement on their position or application has been received to date. Staff propose that the board put its mind to whether the use is permitted or not as such. If the board agrees that the shipbreaking use is not permitted, then start the following motions that staff has prepared through this report. In conclusions, the options that staff are recommending on this report today are specifically that the board consideration is requested respecting the shipbreaking use in the industrial marine zone in the rural Comox Valley zoning bylaw and whether it is deemed permitted or not permitted. Depending on the board's determination of the above question, the following options are available. Direct legal action and enforcement to halt contravention of the zoning bylaw and the OCP. This would include legal proceedings in the Supreme Court to obtain a mandatory and permanent injunction against the property owner. It would also include addressing unlawful land clearing that took place in Glover Park without the required development permits. Direct staff to not pursue legal action and enforcement to halt contravention of the zoning bylaw and the OCP. 3, direct enforcement on only one of the above contraventions. This report supports option 1, should the board affirm that shipbreaking is not a permitted use. And I can answer any questions on this report.
Thank you, Amanda. Do the directors have any questions? Oh, it sounds like the directors were fairly clear, and thank you for the report. On receipt then, is anyone opposed? And that is carried. And would someone like to make a recommendation?
I will move the recommendation 1.
And do we have to declare permitted or not permitted? Yes. So Director Grieve, if you could qualify, is your recommendation to permit or not permit shipbuilding as a use?
My recommendation is not permit is clearly in contravention to the zoning, needs to change.
Thank you. Is that seconded? Second by Director Arbour. And any comments or questions on that recommendation? And just a question to staff, would that recommendation then also allow for the 3 items that are on the screen, or do we need to pass those individually?
Madam Chair, those 3 are provided as separate resolutions to flow from this, should you determine it's not permitted.
All right, thank you. So we can just vote on that first, the definition. So the recommendation is that shipbreaking is not a permitted use in the industrial marine zone in the rural Comox Valley zoning bylaw number 520, dated 2019. Is anyone opposed? Hearing and seeing none, that is carried. All right, we have some further recommendations. I'll read out number 1 and then I'll ask for a motion. That the Comox Valley Regional District Board approve legal action and enforcement to halt contravention of the zoning bylaw on the property legally described as PCLA DD 27784N of Lot 11, Nelson District, except parts outlined in red on plans 397RW and 1414R, and accept those parts in plans 7190, 8906, 21511, 22414, 28338, 29341, and 29342, PID 004-758-901. Could I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Director Grieve, and then Director Arbor has seconded. And any comments on that motion? Hearing and seeing none, is anyone opposed? And that is carried. Number 2, we have a recommendation that the Comox Valley Regional District Board approve legal action and enforcement to halt contravention of the aquatic and riparian habitat development section of bylaw number 337, being the Rural Comox Valley Official Community Plan bylaw number 337 dated 2014 on the property legally described as Lot 9, District Lot 11, Nelson District, Plan 8906, Glover Community Nature Park, PID 005-481-252. And could I get a motion? I
I'll
will
move to.
Moved by Director Grieve, seconded by Director Arbor. Comments, questions? Hearing and seeing none. Is anyone opposed? And that is carried. And lastly, number 3, the recommendation is that the Comox Valley Regional District Board authorize its solicitors to provide an undertaking as to damages in support of an application for an interim injunction to enforce the bylaws of the Comox Valley Regional District.
I'll move 3 as well.
Moved by Director Grieve, seconded by Director Arbor. Comments? Is anyone opposed? And that is carried. Thank you, directors.
And thank you, Madam Chair and directors. And just to confirm that those recommendations are recommendations of the committee that will go to the board on February the 15th for consideration by the board at that time.
Thank you. Moving on, item number 3. Is your question regarding the next item or the last? Okay.
The CEO's comments.
Sorry, to your just previous comment, Director Arbor.
So just to confirm, will the entire board be voting on these recommendations or just the areas?
When it goes to the board, it is the electoral areas that would vote on a matter like of this nature.
Thank you. Item number 3, the 2022-2026 proposed financial plan budget presentations for receipt